Alright, what's up guys? I am back. I'm going to give you a quick update. Streaming wise, I'm basically going to stream whenever. It's just going to be a mess up times when I stream. When I stream. Because, I'm in college right now, I'm dealing with some stuff, doing assignments, struggling, this, that, and there. But, yeah, but if you catch morning streams, it'll probably be most likely Jump Force. And if it's like late night or somewhere afternoon, it'll probably be a mix between Jump Force or Siege, really. That's probably what it'll be. Or just any other game that you would suggest that I might consider on getting. But yeah, so let's get into this manga review. So I'm really just doing speed it up until the recent manga, but I'm gonna do some recaps of just special moments from the other chapters leading up to the most recent one. So My Hero, we are gonna start from 218 and go on from beyond. I'll let you know when I switch chapters. So yeah, in 218 there seems to be a liberation army, a hidden liberation army within a company that actually sells hero equipment for the licensed heroes. And basically the liberation army is based off of the leader of the original liberation army that soon got captured and he died in a prison, but no one knew he had sons, so his sons basically took up on their role for the liberation army. And basically it just introduces us to some new upcoming uprising of quote-unquote villains. But basically the liberation army's idea and their philosophy is that if you're born with these quirks and abilities, you should be able to use them without having to need to have a license to save anyone, or you just use your quirk whenever. You don't need to be licensed and shackled down by the higher ups to use your quirk and be restricted on stupid things, basically. And then it cuts over, and plus they're selling, they're in the, I think it seems like they're in the black market, or just like underground things of selling equipment as well, instead of just selling it to heroes and commercialing their new tech. But it switches over to All Might, actually somewhere in the city, and these group of kids, well, not kids, like somewhat preteen teens, are going through the streets trying to rob people, and then because it's a planned robbery, and they're just going past all the citizens, robbing them, taking their purses and snatching and everything. And then what do you know, All Might is there with Bakugo and Todoroki, because they just got licensed. So now we're going to switch over to chapter 219. And this chapter is basically just showcasing the fight and just giving us some good stuff. So the group of misfits were fighting Todoroki and Bakugo, and it was a pretty slight fight. They call the main leader the boss, basically. They just call him boss, it seems like. And he has these gauntlets on his wrists. That's what it looks like. These gauntlets on his wrists, and you soon find out later in the chapter, after they're defeated, that his equipment actually comes from the Liberation Army that they were selling. So yeah, it's a whole connection that we'll soon find out from investigation from other heroes that will lead us to the Liberation Army in a huge fight. Basically, that's what it looks like. And his the gauntlets actually seem like they were pretty dangerous. It looked like they shot out, what was it, water or some beams? I do not know. It looked like it shot out water, high pressure water maybe. And it cut Bakugo on his cheek. What was it, Todoroki? Yeah, it was Bakugo. It cut Bakugo on his cheek, and it actually hit a light pole. And it was about to fall on the citizen, but All Might actually saved her. So we get down to the end of the fight. And then whatchamacallit, Todoroki busts out a new move that was showcased in the chapter 219. It's called Flash Freeze Heat Wave. It was basically the move that he used against Midoriya in the sports festival, in the Hero Sports Festival, and it was actually pretty cool to see that move come back again, and they defeated him. But right when the main, the head leader to the group got defeated, his equipment just blew up. It just malfunctioned and blew up, and basically, that's smart because you won't be able to trace the equipment used during the robbery back to the source of where it came from. So, I guess that's cool. They'll let us know about that. And because then if they know that, then the equipment that they sell for heroes is going to be linked, and it's just bad stuff. But yeah, All Might congratulates them on their win. But then it goes back to the Liberation Army, who supposedly took a client. Yeah, it looks like they took a client and they're trying to organize a business meeting for him. And this client actually helps the League of Villains recruit everyone else. And actually he supports them with certain items that they would need during their plans. So he's trying to get a connection with the League of Villains to see what they're up to. But it seems like the plan doesn't go as well as it seems, and he's just trying to get some information out of them for the League of Villains. I think they want to go head to head with the League of Villains, it seems. But it's just crazy. Yeah, it's just so crazy. Then it cuts back to the League of Villains, who are actually fighting a All for One's underling, who was very well trusted, and he was his bodyguard, from what I learned in the recent chapter. Just want to throw a little something out there. And yeah, so we're going to the next chapter of 220. We're heading up onto the recent chapter of 221, and it's so Shigaraki, who supposedly are going on to fight against these people who are called, what were they called? It looks like they're like a cult. They're a cult that hates mutant, not heroes, but people who have the quirk ability and that are changed into mutants. They just hate anyone who's a mutation because of their quirk. They're basically it's just racist, really, and they just seek to quote unquote purify the world from those mutated people. And the League of Villains actually kills all of them, and they try to steal some stuff, but it seems like they didn't have anything worth of any value. And it just shows, in this chapter, it really shows us how down the League of Villains, how worthless to me, how worthless they are without All for One's help. Because All for One was literally he was spoon feeding them their whole pathway. He just gave them their whole pathway. They didn't really have to do anything, no hard work, no dirty work for anything, and they had the help of All for One. You could point out when they tried to get the hero killer and all this other stuff, yada yada yada, when they infiltrated UA, but that's nothing compared to what All for One has been doing. He is All for One, top, basically the worst villain yet out of everything, but they're a group of people. They gotta do something worse than, they infiltrated UA, woo, they tested all my strength and all that, but I'm not gonna keep rambling on. So one of the it goes back to their hideout, which seems to be in a canyon, or it's a work site, a construction site, it seems, and they're hiding there, and they're just broke. like glass shattered, glass everywhere, broken chair, the walls are cracked. It just looks terrible. They're living in just a shithole. And Dabi comes back, and they're basically trying to really recruit more people to get their group size up, so Shigaraki can really looks like they need the group size up for Shigaraki to get a following and get his name out there to be, you know, a actual villain. Because right now he's just eh. I mean, they know the League of Villains, but the League of Villains aren't that big of a threat anymore as they were in the beginning, when All for One was actually the head of their group. And as they're sitting there, Shigaraki is waiting for his friend Kurogiri to come back, because he was actually captured. He's reminiscing about their old times, and how Kurogiri was giving Shigaraki some pep talk, basically, and just keeping Shigaraki's hopes up since All for One has been taken out. And when that happens, the doctor is actually outside. He sends over a parting gift. But while this is happening, one of the members of the League of Villains is actually frustrated with how they're living off of basically nothing. They're not taking any action. He only joined them, he said, because of Hero Killer Stain, and how that encouraged him to become what he is now with the League of Villains. But after that, a commotion comes outside, and who do you guess who it is? It's the big gigantic monster who actually has the doctor's. The doctor put a speaker on his chest so he can communicate with Shigaraki and everyone, since the behemoth is there. And the doctor is actually talking to Shigaraki, and Shigaraki's actually puzzled that the doctor is actually communicating with him, but you know, it has to be done. Shigaraki needs to do something, because he is a low tier villain right now, and they don't know who this guy is. No one knows who he is, and he just bursts out crying that Shigaraki's basically weak. He's a lesser villain than All for One was. He's nothing to him, and he's just complaining that he has to basically be his bodyguard and actually help him gain his acknowledgement from others and get his clout up. So now we're going to get on to the recent chapter, to where this takes us on to us to get his name. They're actually fighting him right now, trying to contain him, and he's just going berserk. But they're trying to see what his problem is, and this guy's basically, like I said previously on chapter 220, that he's just upset that he has to be this caretaker for this puny villain, and his name is Giganto Machia. And that, like, if that is his name, if there's any other pronunciation, please let me know in the comments. So that's his name, and then that's when it explains that he was All for One's bodyguard, and he was one of the people that All for One trusted most. Sorry if I pause like frequently. It's just that I'm looking over these chapters, you know, to jog my memory on some of these things, just like with the previous ones. But it seems like All for One has a real hold down on him right now, because as he's going berserk and Dabi's fighting him, he plays a recording of All for One's voice saying his name, and then he just stops attacking, and he tries to protect the radio. And but it seems like Giganto is somewhat, obviously, as you can see, he's simple-minded. He's one-track fighting beast, and his actual ability is that he can obtain and have multiple quirks, just like All For One. And it's pretty insane that he can do all that stuff. But yeah, it gets down to the business, and then the Doctor actually has a quirk ability. It seems that he used All For One's ability back when they were in the Camino. Back, that's what it says right here. Back in Camino, when All For One and All Might fought. When he teleported Bakugo over to where he was and everybody else, and you see the Doctor, and you see the Doctor's face, and he looks exactly like the Doctor that told Deku that he didn't have any quirks because of his because that X-ray that he showed, it looks exactly like that Doctor. And I feel like later on we're gonna have things unfolding, and I cannot wait to see Deku's father coming soon. So basically, the Doctor's talking to Shigaraki about how just terrible their group is and what they need to do to achieve their greatness up to All For One and beyond. And he doesn't want them to see his face. He wants to conceal himself and make sure that he doesn't get anything leaked. His address, his looks, anything, so they won't know. But he has these Nomu, these new and improved Nomu that are basically what he says way better, just a giant step far from what the Nomu used to be, and they're almost close to perfection. So he tells Shigaraki that he's accomplished really nothing, and shows the panel of Shigaraki. His hair is long. He looks not defeated, but looks like he's hungry. He's just out for something. He needs more, and that's really it. He's just asked Shigaraki what is the trash of society going to show him, and he's asking basically what the League of Villains going to show him to make him seem like he needs to give them a little boost in their activities. So now we're going to go ahead and switch over to Black Clover. I believe last time we did 194, am I correct? Yes, we did, with Charmy transforming. So Charmy transformed, she beat old dude, and then they went up to the main room. That's where Yuno is. So Yuno is fighting against the reincarnated elves, but it seems like Raya senses something from the suspected villain, and he actually flies over to Yuno, and he grabs his keystone. So he takes it. As he takes the keystone, everyone's confused about what's going on, and they're being a little skeptical from their member. And then Yuno sees that he took the keystone and he wanted it back. But then Raya said, he asked Lone, why do you just lie right now? And then Patoli, or Patri, whatever you want to call him, he's just trying to figure out what's happening too. And Raya asks him, who are you? And basically it shows the demonic face, and he attacks Raya, and he puts a hole in his chest, and he falls down. Now we go to the next chapter, 196, on what is happening. So now we discover that the mystery Lone was actually, he changed into a demon. He transforms into a demon, or he calls himself the devil, or whatever you want to call him, but I'm gonna just call him a demon from right now, Demon Clan. And he transforms into a demon. He basically tells Patri that everything that he's done up until now was basically what he said was basically everything what Patry did up until now, killing Julius, reincarnated elves, everything was a lie, and it was under his the demon's control, under his control, and he started the reincarnation magic for all the elves, so he can be reincarnated after 500 years of the elves being not extinct but massacred. And so the demon comes back, well, the devil. So while he says he's while imperfect, it's still my body for the first time in centuries. It's good to be back. So he comes back reincarnated, and Patry is confused. Everyone's confused what's happening, and they're shocked that the devil has arise from his slumber, and he actually was behind everything. And Patry is somewhat what you call despair, and he's just down in the slums about what he's done, because everything was a lie. It was just based off of the devil's own will. He caused everything to happen. He caused everybody to be jealous. He caused everybody to kill each other just so he can be reincarnated. So he takes control of Patry, and Patry actually tries to attack back at him, but he says return, and then Patry's magic attack, his light magic swords, actually goes back to him, and they keep fighting, and he says he has an ability, his magic is word magic, to where anything he says comes to reality. Do you know how crazy that is? That is the most BS broken ability from the grimoire you can get. Well, not a grimoire, but magic you can have. Because he doesn't have a grimoire right now. Because later in chapter 2, I'm still stuck on My Hero 198. We'll get there. But you'll see what I'm talking about. So Yuno actually saves him. He's fighting the devil. And as he's fighting the devil, nothing is working. He uses an ability called Vacuum Wall, and it basically sucks in his magic, and it's just crazy. So as Yuno is fighting him, it comes to a close where he's like, wow, this guy's gonna be pretty hard to fight. But then Asta luckily comes in and greets Yuno and everybody. He says, you know what, I'm here, no need to fear, I'm up to rock and roll. So now we go into chapter 197, where it shows a nice colored panel of the demon and everyone. It looks pretty cool. Asta shows Patry and the devil. So now we get down to here. And Mimosa's actually shocked, asking, what is he? The otherworldly being, a describable evil. So Asta goes just nuts. He says, what the heck is that thing? That disgusting, nasty black thing. And it's just funny how Asta reacts. But Patry is actually, he's just stuck. He doesn't know what to do. And as he's just sitting there, the devil says, come here. And Patry actually he just appears right before his eyes. And this is just so crazy. Because it sucks, because I know he's not the only devil. He's not the only demon. He can't be. He literally can't be. But as Asta and Yuno are trying to do anything, Patry is actually fighting for his life against the devil, and he just ultimately, shockingly, embarrassingly, he just loses. And the devil really didn't break a sweat at all. He barely even moved to do anything. And it's just sad to see that happen. But yeah, he loses, and he basically puts him in despair, and he's trying to obtain his grimoire, to change his grimoire's 4-leaf into a 5-leaf grimoire, and we'll get more to that in chapter 198. So Asta and Yuno charge at the devil, and the devil is bringing, he says, storm of blades, and swords start falling from above, but they're not magic swords. They don't have any magic in them, and Asta is actually trying his hardest to dodge them because they're not magic swords. His ability is anti-magic, and he can't do anything about that. But Yuno saves the day and everything. But He says vacuum wall again. He's trying to suck Asta and Yuno in. He's trying to crush them. But yeah, they're fighting and everything. But Asta is actually familiar. He says he's somewhat familiar with this devil. He feels like he knows him somewhat, and I feel like that has something to deal with his power with his demon that he has in his the demon he has in his grimoire that's actually controlling him. What it didn't control him, but it almost did control him at one point, but he gained consciousness. But yeah, so Patria is under despair after everything he's done. He was basically tricked by the devil, and that's basically what they do. Demons and devils, they're tricksters, you know. They get under your skin, they make you do what they want them to do. Well, they make you do what they want them to do at their will, really. It's just hard to see. But he's just shocked by that. He's still shocked by it. He can't do anything. He's captured by the devil. Asta and Yuno, they get back up from the debris that the devil put on them. And they're just basically saying, you know what, we're not done yet, and we're coming after you. And it's just crazy. And then it closes in, because they are powering up. It looks really, really, really good. And Raya says has he finally awakened the lich that is inside of him. And there's so many theories I'm going to talk about in my video after my rank match video, because I will be doing a rank match video sometime today or later tomorrow. But I will be doing a theory video, just really discussing everything that's been going on with Black Clover, because I've been here since the beginning and it's been amazing. But yeah, you guys, so they're fighting the devil, and it comes to the final panel where it says, then you'll just have to be destroyed, since they're getting in his way. So we'll go into the next chapter. Sorry that this is a lengthy video. I just have to go ahead and get all these chapters through, so that I can be caught up with y'all, and y'all can be caught up with me. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me too. Ain't got no juice near me, no water. So as they're fighting the demon, he says heal, so he can heal his wounds, and it's just crazy. This ability is just off the charts. It's ridiculous. How can you beat a guy like that? Literally, how can you beat a guy like that? But they're fighting the devil, and he's surprised to say that they actually scratched him, which I didn't see. I didn't catch that, but they scratched him. He said, not bad, but I think the devil's either talking to Patri or Asta. He says, I don't know what demon you are, but I'll offer that grimoire to you. Okay. It seems like he's talking to Asta during that moment, and then it goes over to I want to say Henry. No, it's not Henry. It's the dude that can create zombies. I wanted to say it was Henry, but it's not, because Henry always has his hair covering his face. But it's a dude that can control the zombies. I think it's Vitoli or something like that. I really don't know his name. I forgot about it, but we're gonna keep skipping on. And Patri is caught, and Raya is just sitting there down on the ground. He can't move because he just had his whole damn stomach blown open, so he really can't do anything about that. But the devil then says, when the wielder of a 4-leaf grimoire is swallowed up by despair, a 5-leaf grimoire is born. So, and then he says, at last, both the flesh body and the dark grimoire are here, and as a demon in this present world, I can now manifest my true power and form. So Asta and Yuno are like, oh shit, what are we gonna do about this one? And he says, 500 years ago, everything was going well until the Grimoire of Despair was born. At the very last moment, they just had to resist. That's why this time I used forbidden reincarnation magic to corrupt their souls with evil, making their minds easier to steal. A stepping stone should just behave and be stepped on. So then it tells us that now there it tells us, if you haven't caught up by now, that the devil actually started this whole thing. None of this would happen without him. And he basically started this whole war between the elves and the humans. This hatred that they have, not even a war, but this hatred that started between Lich and the humans and all the elves. And yeah, so the 4-leaf grimoire turns into a 5-leaf grimoire, and he takes Patri's grimoire, and Patri actually turns into a dark elf, because Asta actually runs up to go and attack the devil, Asta and Yuno, and then the dark elf Patri, he turns into a dark elf. He attacks them, and he's stronger, faster, and he's way better than before. And the thing that they couldn't beat him when he was just reincarnated, and him now, like, this is ridiculous, yo. I better, out of all the ass pulls and power-ups I've seen, because I've just started watching Bleach, and how did Ichigo get like 5 for 4 power-ups within like no longer than 50 episodes? I really cannot get that. Like, I mean, it's not a bad show. It's just, that's just stupid to me. I don't know. And they're rivaling these squad captains. Like, get out of here, man. Get out of here. But let me stick on Black Clover. So Asta and Yuno are getting handled basically by the Dark Elf, and they're getting hit with black light, and everything is just going downhill, looks like. And then Asta brings out his Demon Destroyer sword. I'm surprised to see that, because usually he has his it was a Demon Dweller sword. It's either one of the two, but he has those swords out. But he brings out the Demon Destroyer sword, and he might be able to bring Patri back, but I don't know, man, because he seems like he's fully sunken in despair, and then he won't be able to get back. But yeah, so Asta and Yuno are actually trying to hold off against the Dark Elf, but the devil, he's retreating. He's running away to go up to the top, and as he's leaving, he says in his mind, this is at Yuno, he says, the destined human who harbors the child of elf and man. And then he's referring to Asta after saying that, and the magicless good for nothing who somehow wields the 5-leaf grimoire will certainly die here. So he's basically betting on their death. He knows that they're going to die. Well, he feels like they're going to die. That's his assumption. But then as Asta tries to go after the devil, he's getting attacked by the Dark Elf. He defends himself. And but Yuno backs him up. So they're in a pickle right now. And as this is coming to a close, it looks like, and then the Dark Elf actually attacks Asta, and he looks like he got striked, I think. But Asta's trying to hold off against the Dark Elf. He's trying to bring him back, and he says, we both hate each other. We have our problems, basically. That's what he's saying. I'm just trying to paraphrase. We both have our problems, but get out of my way, and we can figure this all out after this whole ordeal. And then the Dark Elf just says to him, hate. And he says, hate again. And then it seems like he's surrounded by this dark orb. And he's about to probably release his power, just like when what people will seem to believe the Lich, when they were fighting in the cave, when he was about to do that whole like he was about to expel his magic, just burst a full blast of magic energy all around his light magic. That's what it looks like is gonna happen again, and it goes to the final panel of Captain Yami and Captain God, what is his name? The Noelle's brother, her elder brother. I don't know his name, but go closes on this panel. It seems like they're coming in to help Asta, and Yuno, they're finally arriving. And I wonder what Jack the Ripper is doing right now, but he's fighting with Noelle, right? They should be fighting, or the fight is done with. But yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you guys on the next video. But I do have some theories that I've picked up and I've been researching that I would like to discuss with you guys. Probably gonna pick up some more theories to just tell you guys, give some background and everything. But after that, I'm gonna probably pick my best theory in that video. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Sorry for my absence. I am back. I am better. And yeah, streams are probably gonna be random. If you're looking for my streams, go to twitch.tv/rampantj. I think it's a lowercase r. Yeah. So, well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.